Alright guys, welcome. Um, this is my first stream, so I thought this would be a good idea to pass time and show people my interest and the knowledge I have of flying different sorts of aircraft. Um, and I'm pretty experienced with avionics. I've been playing The Sims for many years, but also I have flown airplanes in real life. Small aircraft, like Cessnas and Pipers and stuff, Piper Arrows. But this is a 737. This is currently United Airlines 737-800 series that we're going to fly today. And I thought we would take this plane up to Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. And we are currently at San Diego International Airport, SAN. So yeah, we are at the gate, currently at gate 41. We're just going to pretend that the jet bridge isn't working, so we're using air stairs to board passengers onto the aircraft. Alright, let's take a step inside the cockpit. Okay, 1 second here. Everything's already started up. The engines are off, obviously. The APU is off. The fuel lines are off. We have the ground power connected. The bleed air is currently stable for our conditions. We have the hydraulics off. We have the window heats off. I'm going to go ahead and turn the window heats on. And we'll go ahead and turn on the probe heat after startup. Okay, so we're going to go down here to the flight management computer, the FMC. And we're going to start inputting our plans, our flight. Weight and balance, route, and such. I'm going to go ahead and go on my phone here. Unfortunately, you will not be able to see this, but I'm going to simbrief.com. You may know what that is. It's where you could set your pre-flight stuff. Let's go ahead and go ahead and get this started and get the show on the road. New flight. Okay, we're going to be departing from San Diego International Airport and landing in LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. It's asking me for the time. We're going to go ahead and depart at 3:45, which is my time. That will be in 10 minutes. Excuse me, 4 minutes. Or 8 minutes. Aircraft type. This is a 737-800 series. Again, sorry you can't see what I'm inputting right now. I'm doing this off my phone. But we will be inputting all this in the sim here shortly. Okay. Super short route. This flight's typically no more than 30 minutes. We're not even going to be climbing very high. I think we're climbing to at least 11,000 feet. Alright, I just inputted the airports for our route, our RTE. And we'll be departing out of runway 27. So we'll go ahead and input that, runway 27. And you see that when on the screen. That's our, that's basically like a bird's eye view of us. Go ahead and turn on the TA. For you that don't know, this is our artificial horizon. Obviously the brown orangish color is the ground and the blue is the sky. So we're at a level plane right now. So yeah, we're on the ground, we're level. We have our probes off, so it says our airspeed's 45, but we're not going anywhere. To the left, and then to the right you see 270 negative 270 for altitude. That's probably not correct either, but that's our altitude on the right. So once we take off and start moving, you'll see those things change. And then again, this is our like a bird's eye view, a compass. It's like a bird's eye view of us. That triangle on the bottom is us. And turn on the weather, and we could change all sorts of things. You know, you could zoom out, zoom in. And those two lines that are kind of crossing over us, that's the runway that we just inputted. Okay, we're going to go ahead and input our route. So this is where we will manually input our legs. Each waypoint we call legs, RTE legs. So since this is a very small flight, there's really only 2 legs, it looks like. So we're taking the Cowards 2 departure. What's going on here? It doesn't like it. Sometimes the sim is inaccurate with the current, but then it has it here. That's weird. Maybe I inputted it wrong. Okay. So this is our departure and arrival. Don't really have to do much with the arrival. So we're going to land at LAX on 24 left, runway 24 left ILS. And we'll do a quick in. We don't need to go all the way out. We'll do a short vector into LAX. So we're going to, after we reach the waypoint leg SLI, Sierra Lima Indigo, India, we'll transition to Dobie, and that will be our approach into 24 left ILS. Go ahead and execute and activate that route. And now you could see it on our map, our bird's eye view. That pink line is the exact route that we were taking in each waypoint. So each star that you see is the new waypoint. Star. So it looks like our first waypoint will be called Winfield. Let's go ahead and hit the center button on here. Get a better view, maybe. Zoom out more. There we are. So there it is. This is obviously super zoomed out. LAX is really not that close. But you can see each and every individual waypoint into LAX, ILS for 24 left. Once again, very short route. So it's going to be a quick live stream. maybe we'll do a return back to San Diego once we land at LAX. Okay, let's go ahead and set up the payload. I don't want it to be super heavy. We'll just do random. Perfect. We're not going to do that step just yet. Okay, so now that we have our route planned and inputted, the airplane now knows. Obviously, we see it on our map. It now knows where we're going and which waypoints we're taking. But because of the weather and the circumstances and our weight and balance, we have to calculate that, and the aircraft is going to perform in a certain way for the circumstances that we're in now. So, we could input this all manually, but today I'm just going to do it, the computer is going to calculate and upload our numbers automatically. So we're going to go ahead and hit this pre-flight intentions request, and it's going to go ahead and request that for us. It's going to load, take a few moments, and we're going to hear a ping, and that's when it's ready to input. Okay, no ping, no doorbell, but it's ready. Boom. Okay, you see all the numbers load. Here's our gross weight, 146. Zero fuel weight is 121. Reserve fuel is 5.9. Cost index, 18. Cruising altitude will be 10,000. Okay, so we're not even going to go to 11,000. We're going to cruise to 10,000. Very short flight. Transition altitude, 18,000 for whatever reason. We need to deviate or turn back. We're going to fly a climb of 2, and we're going to have to go on a D-rated takeoff. We don't need full power, basically. Of course, standard, flaps 5 for takeoff. Okay. Let's do max angle. Let's get to 10,000 pretty quick. Okay, let's see. It's interesting that I'm not getting my V1. It's okay. Sometimes the sim doesn't work the way it needs to be, or it should. Alright, we already have the altitude set for 10,000. We're going to go ahead and set the climb rate to, we're going to go ahead and climb to at a speed of 170. Oh, we just had a 747 fly right over us. So again, we got the altitude set. We don't have our heading set. Let's do the runway heading. And we'll set course to the same as the runway heading. Okay, we're going to fire up the APU unit, which is the auxiliary power unit, which basically is a generator for the aircraft, because we are going to be disconnecting the ground power. So we're going to fire up fuel line 1, which is standard for the APU unit, and we're going to go ahead and fire up the APU. going to take a few moments. There it is. She's live. And you could hear it starting up right there. I think she stabilizes around 4. Once she stabilizes at 4, we'll go ahead and turn the generators on and switch over to APU power. There it is, gen off. Perfect. So now we're disconnected from ground power, and now we're using the APU unit to power the aircraft. We'll go ahead and turn on the APU bleed air now. And you can see the pressure climbing. Okay. Turn off hydraulics. Turn on all the fuel lines. And we're going to go ahead and notify the ground that we are ready to push back. We are going to turn on the anti-collision light. You can see the bin door shutting, and the belt loaders will be pushing back here shortly. There's 1 and 2. Looks like the air stairs is moving back as well. Once this back belt loader moves, we'll go ahead and notify ground that we are ready to push back. And it looks like we're about 5 minutes late, which is not terrible. Alright, there's the back belt loader moving. And once he leaves the safety zone, we'll go ahead and get going. Perfect. Gonna go ahead and fly left seat today. Okay. Let's go ahead and initiate push.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start straight back. Roger that. Ready for push straight back. Release the brakes, please.
Here's the parking brake.
Brakes released.
And let's go ahead and turn off the bleed air. Left and right. And here are the 2 engine start levers. We're going to go ahead and turn them to the left to ground. And we'll start seeing our engines fire up. Engine 2 is stable. And here's our fuel line for engine 2 and 1. We're going to go ahead and switch on engine 2. Fuel injected. Now we have NG. See it spinning right there. Okay, engine 2 is stabilized. We'll go ahead and switch the power.
Pushback complete.
And turn on bleed air. And they just notified us to put on the parking brake.
Brake set.
Let's go ahead and crank engine 1.
Watch for the sloop and release from guidance on your left. Have a good flight.
And we're going to induce fuel for engine 1. Engine 1 has NG now. And we'll switch to engine 1 power. So we have engine 2 and engine 1 power on. We're going to go ahead and turn off the APU, turn off the bleed air for APU, turn on the air conditioning. Hydraulics are on, ground crew's gone from the aircraft. And probe heat on. Set flaps to 5, now that the hydraulics are on. We're not going to talk to ATC today, so we're just going to do this flight, manually. All right, everything's good. Engine 1 and engine 2 are stabilized. Fuel lines are good. Hydraulics are on. I see no red lights. Flaps are set to 5. No fire warnings. Radios are set. We're ready to go. Go ahead and turn on the taxi light, and we'll turn and burn, ready to go. Release parking brake. We'll do a slow roll out of here. Taxi lane 3, and we're going to go ahead and cross over to taxi lane Charlie, or taxi lane Bravo. I apologize. Clear left and clear right. Those windsocks are giving us 2 different reads. It's not accurate at all. Go ahead and slow down here a little bit. Set the trim to take off. There's the old commuter terminal to the right. I've towed many aircraft into that terminal. Here's where the old employee lot used to be. And again, I parked there for many years. It was cool seeing the aircraft pass by as like we are now, on the way to the runway departures. Go ahead and notify the flight attendants that we are cleared for departure. Runway lights are on. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do a quick rollout. So set engines to 40% NG. Toga.
knots.
80 knots checked. V1, rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Flap set to 1. Autopilot engaged. Ignore that, that's our stall warning. Okay, so now that the aircraft is in autopilot, we're not flying the airplane. The airplane is doing all the work for us. We have everything inputted. So the aircraft knows exactly what to do, how to climb, what airspeed we need to go, and what the next waypoint. See if you can see the wing. Yep, you can see the wing right there. just passed 6,000 and we're going 145 knots. Our ground speed is 273 miles per hour. Okay, we've reached our cruising altitude of 10,000 feet. You can hear the engines idling down a little bit. We could go ahead and let the passengers move around and go to the restroom if they need to for just a few minutes. We'll be in LAX pretty quick, but we have enough time for them to be able to move around and do what they need to do. And this is the miles that we have until the next waypoint, right here. So it says the next waypoint is Gwin, which is 7.6 nautical miles away. This is our progress. So it looks like when we land, we'll be landing at 7:51 Zulu time. Right now it's currently 7:33 Zulu time. We're pretty far out in the ocean from the coastline, but as you can see on our map, we're going to make a small, shallow right turn back into the coastline, and that will bring us into Los Angeles. There it is right there. We've now just transitioned onto waypoint Gwin. And the next waypoint is Padres. And then after Padres, it will be Quard. I just want to point out here, see the green TD right there where that dot was just at? The TD is the top of descent, so once we reach that TD waypoint, after Quard, that's when the aircraft will manually start descending for our ILS approach into LAX. So when we get to that point, we'll turn on the fasten seatbelt sign and get passengers seated for landing. It's nice and quiet up here, as always. And there's the greater Los Angeles area we'll be passing over Long Beach and the Irvine, Anaheim area. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn on the fasten seatbelt sign just before descent. Gives people time to get seated. We have the landing lights on. We've left those on because it's very short. Nothing but blue, peachy skies. No, not a cloud in the sky. Perfect. And our in-flight time has only been 15 minutes. All right, here's our initial descent. There's John Wayne Airport right there, Orange County in Anaheim. Might be too hard for you guys to see. And then we're passing over Costa Mesa, Long Beach. Huntington Beach is right there. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the approach localizer. Set our altitude to 4,000. There's Long Beach Airport right there. You can just barely see LAX right there, right on the coastline. And downtown Los Angeles is right in front of us. You'll be able to see it coming up here. You can see it's a little windy. It's kind of turbulent. Kind of moving around. And again, this is all automated. The plane's flying itself. That little chime that you just heard just meant that we just reached our altitude, set altitude to 4,000. We're going to go ahead and stay here at 4,000. And it looks like our next waypoint will be 2,000. Once we get to our next waypoint, we'll set the altitude to 2,000 and we'll go ahead and disengage autopilot and we'll fly the plane manually for landing. For runway 24 left. There's 4 runways at LAX. There's 24 left, 24 right, 25 left, and 25 right. See downtown LAX just a little more clearer. And here's our left turn for final for runway 24 left. Okay, setting altitude to 2,000. Setting flaps to 5. Setting airspeed to 190. See that traffic? That was insane. Runway visual in sight. We're going to go ahead and set the airspeed to 248 or 148. Flaps set to 20. Landing gear down. Just ignore that chime. That just means we're going a little bit too fast, but that's okay. Setting flaps to 25. I have runway visual, so we're going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot and we're going to fly her manually. Alright, we have the aircraft. I'm going to go ahead and fly her in visually. We're going to get set to flaps to 30. there's that traffic again. Passing our 11 o'clock. It's a little breezy out. Plane's kind of moving around. Go ahead and disengage the auto thrust.
Airspeed full. Airspeed full.
20. 10.
Smooth landing. Alright, we've made it to LAX. Perfect. Go ahead and put up the speed brakes. And pull up the flaps to 0. Turn off our runway lights. And we are flying United, so our concourse is on the other side of the airport, so we're going to go ahead and taxi over there pretty quickly. Here's the Tom Bradley International Terminal. Flown out of here dozens of times internationally. been 30 minutes since we've departed out of San Diego. Super quick flight. Alright, we're on the other side of the airfield now. These are the two other runways. 25 left and 25 right. Oh my goodness. That truck just took us out. Of course, aircraft have the right of way at all times. So that was a huge violation for that truck. Alright, we are approaching the United Concourse. I think it's Concourse Bravo. I'm going to go ahead and turn off taxi lights and turn on the auxiliary power unit. Coming into gate 77. Usually there's a guide agent, but it's going to have to use my best judgment. Go ahead and stop there. Parking brake set, and we're see if the APU unit's ready. Yep, we're going to switch over to APU power, and we'll cut off the engines. Engine 2, engine 1. On the APU bleed air. Hydraulics are coming off. Probe heat off. Fuel lines off. Keep fuel line 1 aft on. Anti-collision off. The engines are off. And we'll go ahead and get the ground to connect the jet bridge so we can connect ground power, and then turn off the
Los Angeles Ground 88JA7 Tree 8 Heavy, could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
88JA7 Tree 8 Heavy, the jetway is going to be connected.
You see the jetway moving now. Perfect. Super quick. Looks like we don't have ground connected yet. That's okay. We just may leave the APU on. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for today on this live stream. Super quick flight. I thought I was going to be able to fly back to San Diego, but I just don't have time. But this was great. A great first live stream. And looking forward to the next one. We'll fly all sorts of different aircraft at different airports and destinations. I hope you guys enjoyed, as I did. Take care. Thank you.